Hello and welcome to Builders, the podcast where we explore how great tech teams are built and what makes the people behind them thrive. I'm Lee Haynes, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Ali Farha, Senior Technical Producer at Start Stable, the beloved online horse adventure game that's captured the hearts of players around the world. Start Stable isn't just a game. It's a global player-driven community, blending storytelling, gameplay, and social connection in a unique way. Ali has carved out a unique path within this space, blending technical expertise, creative thinking, and leadership skills, a combination that's increasingly critical in modern tech teams. Ali, a warm welcome to Builders. Pleasure to have you with us. How's it going?
Thank you so much. First of all, great work with the pronunciation of my name. I never heard my name that accurate, even from my mom recently. And thanks for the intro. You really humbled me. Yeah, really happy to be here. My entire team is tech, so speaking to any nerdy tech like myself couldn't please me more. So I'm super excited to share where I know and hopefully can help at least someone who is listening to our podcast.
Super. And glad to hear I didn't butcher your name.
You didn't at
all. Let's dive in, shall we? Starting from the beginning, of course. What's your background? How did you find your way into tech and eventually into the gaming industry?
I'm happy to share the story that my dad saw in me that this guy, he really doesn't like studying. He saw that in me very early. So he said, I'm going to send you to fast-paced programs, which is, it's so common where it's like you study a specific field in the high school. And this is exactly what he did. It was called computer techniques. And I did really fall in love it was my first time get to program. So I started programming very early. And of course, a lot of my fellow tech friends will resonate with what I'm going to say next. I did Delphi, I did Visual Basics. So I did and Turbo Pascal, which is a very old programming language. And it's like a terminal-based blue. It's so fun. And funny enough, I managed to be one of the top students in the school. That's what happened when you studying something you're super passionate about. It was the first time in my life get to experience that in an education field. And that led me to do a 5 years program, Master in Computer Engineering at university. I kind of regret a bit I've done that, to be honest. I hope that I really, to be honest, if you know what you want, if you have built some enough foundation, just go for it and build an experience. If you want to become a researcher, if you want to work for massive companies who look for a really academic background, then pursue bachelor degree or master in computer engineering. So if you're listening to me and you just learn programming by yourself and you sometimes feel a bit guilty, I didn't go to the school, whatever, please don't. If you know what you want, if you like what you're doing, just go build an experience outside. And we can share later on what kind of tips I can give to that. Certain, all the successful people have been working within our field. They don't have a degree, actually. I'm not saying leave school, though. Wait. This guy always say, we should stop studying. I'm not saying that. If you want to be a researcher, academic, you want to pursue massive companies who look for really advanced things, optimization and things, it's more theory, you should have a bachelor. And it's, of course, always going to be an additional. You can always be theory and improve your skill set. But if you know, I want to be a web developer, this is exactly what I want, I have everything I need, then go and build websites. Go and build the web applications. So I've studied a master in computer engineering. And then my career started in multiple products. I'm not sure if I should go through them right now, or maybe you can do that later on.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit about what you were working on before, because I'm interested in whether there was this defining moment when you realized games could be a real career path for you, not just a passion, right? Because it's a passion for so many of us.
People would be surprised how late this came to me. I've been playing games my entire life, no question, never stopped. Do I need to prove that? I guess not. Everything I'm wearing around me, it's game related. So I love games. I'm so passionate about games, but working in games is something never, ever crossed my mind. And that's why I keep writing and telling people, hey, games is a massive field. I can share more numbers, how big is the gaming industry is. But you'll be surprised how many people didn't even consider that their skill set could be applied in games. So my first, in early career, I was an internship as shipping one of the biggest shipping companies on earth, but I was doing more like an IT department, learning like an intern in their programming. It was mainly databases and stuff. After that, I worked in like a local IT firm. Then my first real assignment, when you start soft, you don't want to go like crazy big. It was QA engineer for a device cooling the brain during coma. So
quite specific.
It's quite specific and quite critical safety. I was too excited. I came back to my home and I said like, hey, it used to be my fiance, and I told her, hey, I'm really excited. I got this job. Then she asked me out of the blue, does that mean if someone dies, is it on you? I said like, I hope not. But exactly. I was kind of the QA engineer for this. Then after that, it was nice to do that. But then like, you know what? Let me do something more chill, something less critical safety. Funny enough, my next assignment was even more critical safety. I did work at Volkswagen as test lead for bodywork, brake system, and some autonomous. Wow. And if you know,
very critical,
very critical because I believe it's above nuclear. Because it's being used way more frequently by kids, by schools. So risk, of course, like we say a plane is the safest transportation, but any mistake in the plane could lead to a death. That's nuclear, but we are literally transporting like hundreds of millions daily around the globe. So I felt like my career going in the wrong direction. I said like, my next assignment, Ali will be testing
more and more responsible,
exactly. Like it's gonna be nuclear button, Ali tested, and like Ali will start World War III if it's already happening. But so it's here what I said. You know what? Let me look for something else. So I went to this job site and start looking IT jobs in Stockholm. This is what I've written. Then suddenly I saw King. If you're listening to us and you don't know much in gaming, I completely understand. King is the Swedish company who created Candy Crush. So if you don't know King, I understand, but there's no one on earth that doesn't know Candy Crush, which is one of the biggest mobile gaming have been made. Then I said, wait a second. Are you telling me I can work in games? And that was a moment where it was, wait, I've been playing games my entire life nonstop. I have all the consoles. I played on a console. Games helped me build a relationship with my dad. So we had a really rocky relationship until I went to university, which is pretty late, to be honest. Now I'm thinking about it. So it's then when I have decided I'm going all in. I've decided I'm doing everything in my power to join this industry. And it wasn't an easy route. It wasn't an easy decision. So if you're listening to me, you're switching from an industry to an industry. It's a formula. It's something you need to follow. First of all, even though you're a student, you have been studying something else and you want to switch. Even though you're super senior, switch back to junior because it's a different role. You're never, ever starting from scratch. Like the idea that, I'm starting from scratch is a mistake. It's like you're planting a wrong information in your mind because we always start with something you can transfer. So there's always skill set you can transfer from career to career. And some people say, hey, Ali, I want to apply for a job. Should I put that I used to work at McDonald's like a unit manager? Of course you should. You have been managing people. You have been listening to their problems. You have been delivering bad news. You have calming them down. You have to do risk mitigation. It tells way more than you expect. So you never, ever move completely new, first of all. So I need to know what I have that requires is there, what I'm lacking. And here's my trick without knowing. Like if I say right now, I know exactly what I was doing, I would be lying. Just being lucky enough, I've done the right steps, took me to my goal. I start reading job ads, taking my phone bed and read job ads in bed every day, which is bad. Don't take your phone to bed. I stopped taking it 3 years ago or more. I never took my phone to bed unless I'm flying in the airport, so I put alarm. But anyway, I was taking my phone bed. For some reason, I was just reading job ads in the evening, trying to find what skill set this industry looking for. What do I have? What I'm lacking? The best way is to read job ads first. Second, gaming industry, for example, names the roles differently. And there's no way for you to know this from external. You need to be in the industry to know the difference. So what you need to do, you need to read job ads as much as possible, not relying on titles. If you're a project manager with tech background, you'll be looking for project manager in tech. Yeah, you won't find much because we call it a producer, and no one told you this.
Right. Yeah.
So my point is, I start reading job ads left and right. So I didn't map out. This industry always look for this and this and that, and I don't know any of these. I know exactly what to do next. I call it the reinforcement of the try to enforce the lack of skill set that you don't have, or sharpen it more so it's more appealing. For me, it was obvious making a game. I never made a game, never touched a gaming engine. So I made a game design course 6 months with my full-time job. So when I started applying for the gaming industry, I showed I'm serious. I showed that, okay, this guy have a bachelor in computer engineering, have done programming, have made games by himself. Okay, let's give him a try. Getting to the gaming industry is super difficult. It's by far one of the most difficult industries in tech, by far. It's like super competitive. You put a job ad outside, you get like hundreds and thousands sometimes. So you need to stand out. And to stand out, you need to show that you're serious. And you do that by showing an extra step in everything you're doing. You need to show, I pushed the limits in every aspect while applying. CV is better than usual. Portfolio is better than usual. Performing in the interview better than usual. You cannot be mediocre. That's why I love the challenge of doing it. And I've done it without any help. Didn't know anyone. From the door, like anyone else. Applied the website. I got a call. Did the screening. Showed that I'm interesting enough. They had some concerns. This guy never made a game. Then I showed them what I did to kind of compensate for this missing knowledge. And they gave me a shot. As soon I end up in the gaming industry, as soon you are where you belong, everything changed. My life changed. I'm here because of that, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I believe everyone listening to me, if you have a dream being in an industry, really should do it, because as soon you're there, everything will change.
And so now you're essentially working with your passion, right? Which is I think a lot of people would consider you fortunate to do so. I'm sure you do as well.
I am.
What is your role as senior technical producer, as it's called in the industry, as you were saying? What does it involve in the day to day?
Yeah, it's according to my wife. Like if I bring my wife, which is not here, and ask her what I do for a living, she will push me a bit. She can be seen on this camera. I will say he plays games and they pay him really well. so according to my wife,
you're gonna get loads and loads of applications.
I got like just my wife expecting I play games at work and they pay me really well, so she cannot complain. It's so funny when someone asks her what your husband does for a living. She's like, yeah, he with games. She having hard time explaining what I do. Maybe I did bad job explaining to her. So let me try to be more professional with you guys and try to explain more. In the gaming industry, we call it a producer because it's the entertainment, right? It's the gaming industry is under the entertainment, which is also been really influenced by Hollywoods and all this like big. When cinema used to be even more bigger, now gaming industry is bigger than cinema and music combined, which is information a lot of people don't know. Games are bigger than movies and music combined.
It's mad, isn't it?
Let that sink, right? A producer is usually the one who handling the budget and make sure we execute everything. But why is not a project manager, you might ask? There's terminology in here. I'm not sure how nerdy I should be, but if you're listening to us, project manager, you're someone delivering a decided milestones and end goals. So we have an end goal, we have a milestones. You're responsible of making sure we execute the plan with the right budget, risk mitigation, and you do all the communication needed to deliver this. This is a project manager. Then we have something called a product owner. You own the product, you own the backlog, you own the priority in that one. Then we have called a product manager, where you the one deciding what to be built even. Or you can have a really good saying. You can have a user interviews, market research, Producer is a circle in between all the three combined. And the ratio, what you're going to be doing more, depends on the company and the team. So you will have two producers at the same company do almost different things. But there's something we have in common, all of us. So it either you be the one deciding what to be built or the one being told we need to build this and need to execute. Then you will be doing more project management. But what we have in common, stakeholder management, you need to do. You need to do dailies, most likely you will. You need to. Retrospective, you need to do. Some companies you'll have a privilege to have an associate or a scrum master or someone to help you with Jira management. So you're more focusing on stakeholder management, publishing, depends on the company. In my own role as a technical producer, I'm a producer, but not in the content side. So I'm not the one pushing art and game content. I'm the one building technology for Star Stable. To build a game, you need an engine, and you need a tooling to build the game with. And there are commercial tools like Unity and Unreal. Star Stable, we have our own tech stack, which is impressive. Star Stable is 13 years old game. And my teams, I have 3 teams, are building the server, the editor, the tools, and the engine in-house fully.
Really nice. And as far as I understand, it has over 21 million registered users across like 180 countries.
It's even more.
Like that, right?
It's even more. The last time I checked, it's 30 million actually. We need to update. I guess if you search for it, the public information says between 20 to 25. The data that I've checked internally, it was close to 30 million.
Wow.
We have more than, a lot of people don't know how big the game is. We have around 18,000 concurrent players. 18,000 playing at the same time, hundreds of thousands daily active.
Yeah. And so, I mean, with this kind of volume then, maintaining and like evolving this live, it's a player-driven world, right? At scale must require like serious coordination between, creative, tech and product
100%.
teams, right? So
100%.
how do you balance production deadlines, say, with the need to keep this kind of gameplay fresh and like player-centered? Do you know what I mean?
We have done everything wrong. Everything possible wrong until we have learned how to do it.
Well, you learn from your mistakes.
I would be lying if I said, you just do this and that. That's it. Easy work. No, we are way, like right now, the coordination and the tech side, how we coordinate with the content, the level of quality we have internally, it's mind-blowing. And I'm happy to do a breakdown. But we have learned that the hard way. We have been without level of quality, like relying only on some unit testing, some manual testing. But now I will state what kind of level of testing we do. Believe or not, I've been working on like safety critical products. We have seen a lot of like scandals about like products being used at schools or banking with super low quality surrounding to it, even though it's super critical. Games, on the other hand, like let's say the game crashes. I mean, no one will be harmed, right? Let's be honest. No one will be harmed. But if your autonomous vehicle malfunction, if a device calling the brain malfunction, if a traffic light get malfunction, the damage is a lot higher. Without being said, the quality in games taken way more seriously than those kind of products, which is kind of sad. At the same time, I'm cool because I get to experience being part of this quality revolution because it's all about player experience. A single crash while a player playing a multiplayer game or a crash lead to losing all their progress, you're done.
Yeah.
They will move out. They will forget about your game. You lost them forever. So we don't have room for this kind of mistakes.
Yeah.
So at Star Stable, since it was like an in-house technology, it came with all challenges. At Star Stable, we release weekly, which is by far one of the most aggressive releases I've heard in any game.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was checking the website in certain areas, and you've got like game updates every single week.
Every single
week,
week,
kind of consistent cadence, right?
Every Wednesday. Tomorrow we're releasing. I'm telling you right now, and we have done 700 plus releases in our like history. We have celebrated 700 a few weeks ago. So how to keep in-house technology with aggressive release cadence plus technical depth. So we had to innovate. We had to be smart how to do things, and we have done a lot of techniques. So first of all, we doubled down in documentation. So we start to document a lot more, because if you don't document, when someone leaves, it's not only them leaving, it's their knowledge leaving with them.
Yeah.
And every company you have that Sven who knows everything.
Yeah.
And Sven is in parental leave, then you're waiting for Sven to come back to continue working on this.
Exactly.
We cannot wait for Sven. We have game running.
Exactly. Oh, the newcomers are like, I've heard of this Sven.
Yeah.
Everyone's
It's like the
talking
legend,
about Sven,
the legend who lives in Omeo,
Exactly.
work remote the whole time, never seen his camera on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we cannot have a Sven character in we need to document what we're doing.
Yeah.
So documentation is a big part of what we're doing. How the quality levels we do. We have something we call the code committee, which is, I believe, a lot of people listening to me is like, oh yeah, someone is caring. We have a committee that decides what code standards will be applied to anyone writing code. This is how we write code at Star Stable. This is the rules. This is everything you need to do to make sure that you're compliant. Then we have like a review system where every submit need to be upvoted by minimum amount of people. They doesn't need to be like, or they don't need to be from your team. Anyone with C++ knowledge to bring extra eyes to your code from different angles, asking the right questions, knowledge sharing. Now you have your code is reviewed by your peers from different departments. We have an internal testing. So we have a QA engineer in each team testing directly after delivery, make sure that everything is good. Plus, we have unit testing, good coverage. We have sanitizing testing every night. We have nightly build. We have an automation testing for the client where we test like all the major functionality. We have a smoke testing before releasing the game. It's insane the level of testing we have, because games are a very complex piece of software.
Yeah.
And to maintain this quality, we had to increase the level of quality. So this is how we maintained a good quality while, keep like aggressive releasing. But then communication is by far the number one problem for any company, any industry. It's all about communication.
Yeah.
Misalignment, missing piece of information, overflow of information, too little
Teams
information,
in
silos, you name it.
Yeah.
It's all drilled down to communication, and it's hard to get it right. I don't believe you will ever. It's a journey. It's like an ongoing process. I don't believe you will ever have it right for a reason, because people will change. The product will change. So the level of sophistication of the communication will also change. It will grow. It will grow with you even. So it's something I don't believe we have mastered. I don't believe we will, but I believe we're getting a lot better to identify patterns, to do more post-mortem when we deliver something. What went wrong? How could we do it better next time? Do smaller communication loops inside. Do a bigger, make sure we have a platform for any kind of piece of information to be shared. Because sometimes you have meetings with individual teams, but then there's some project required 3 teams are in different departments. And you don't have the right platform to share this kind of concerns. So we had to make sure that we have, as much as possible, all kind of major combinations need to be in place in at least one meeting, where you're not having a strict agenda where you go this, and that, then you don't have time to bring that up. I'm going to give a quick example in here. If you do stand-ups, okay, and I talk to you, hey, Lee, what you're doing today, what you're doing tomorrow, like what you did yesterday, what you're doing today, for example. Or focusing on only today. Do you have any blockers? No? All good. Then I move on to the next person. I did something in here, Lee. I asked you what your focus today, any risk. I'm focusing on this. I don't have any risk. But guess what? You have something you wanted to share, but the structure of the meeting didn't allow you to do this. So when the meeting is over, you come to me and say, hey, Ali, by the way, I was going to ask, what about the knowledge sharing tomorrow? Anyone gonna have any subject for it? I didn't see anything. Then I'm busy with meetings. Then I see your message late. Then we missed a knowledge sharing. We didn't utilize that time. Then people stop coming. Instead, let's go back to the stand-up. At the end of stand-up, if I only ask anything else, I will bring more things are not relevant to the template of any stand-up. So we have done that on a bigger scale between multiple teams to bring this kind of questions, risks, task force.
Yeah, makes sense. And to talk a little bit about kind of you transitioning into like leadership, you said you got what 3 teams you mentioned
Yeah, right now,
before,
yes.
like because transitioning from an individual contributor to the like leadership role is, I mean, it's a fairly big shift, right?
Oh my God, yes.
So like, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during that transition? Would you say?
What I didn't face to start with, I would say also it was an interesting journey. You do it once, so I don't believe you will ever be prepared for it because you do it once, you learn from it, then you will become leader to leader. And sometimes people
Yeah.
realize it's not for me and go back to individual contributor, which is completely fine. Look, if you believe leadership is something you want to try, you're serious about it, I believe anyone could be a good leader if they have this mindset and willing to learn. I'm not saying everyone can be a leader. I'm not saying everyone could be a good leader. Everyone wanting to, with the right mindset, willing to learn and grow and receive feedback, could be a good leader. The first trap is your individual contributor. You know something really well, zoomed in, then you are a leader, and you still zoom in for the things you feel comfortable with, interfering with decisions and letting things burn somewhere else because you don't feel as much comfortable. So first trait as a leader, you need to let go of things, and you need to trust the new people who took over your role. If it's the same team, it usually happens a lot, it's the same team. Or if you move to a completely new team, make sure to not have the mindset of I need to contribute to technical decisions, what code, like what kind of algorithm we should use, what kind of programming language we should do if it's a new module. They have it. There are tech leads. They have seniors. You can make sure the right questions being asked by you and everyone in the room. But you need to let go of things and be more on the bigger picture. So first of all, you need to let go of this individual computer mindset zooming in. You need to more zooming out first. Second, you be what the team needs to be, or what the team needs you to be. Sorry, every team do lack something, and a good leader spot that and try to be what's needed.
Yeah.
Because if you read a good one-on-one leader or good leaders, you will see a lot of stuff. Okay, if I implement this, I will be the best leader ever. No, I have 3 teams. They have complete different needs. I'm kind of being different in each one of them. I'm not asking you to be a different person, but what they need from you could be completely different. I have teams that are so mature, they need more high level communication. Some teams are more senior, junior. They need more like hand holding in some aspects.
Yeah.
So spot what your team needs and be that. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Give feedback, receive feedback. Also, that's something as a leader is kind of tough. Sometimes you need to, in gaming industry, we call it kill their darlings.
Yeah.
Because in the gaming industry, you have a challenge I don't believe you will find in actually in a lot of traditional industry, you won't see it, is usually you need to motivate your team to deliver. While in the gaming industry is you need to calm everyone because everyone is excited to deliver because everyone is extremely passionate. It's a really weird issue. It's like I had to tell someone to go home. Like, hey, you cannot be here. It's like it's getting late. It's time to go home. And I was there just because it's like a dinner, and that person is just like typing like crazy. So you need to understand your industry, which means you need to know your industry more. And if you don't know it, that's fine. I'm not saying you don't take the role. Understand the circumstances, understand the ecosystem will help you be a better leader. Understand your product well. I work in a game for kids. They're minors, which means some legislation will be in place. COPPA compliant, GDPR is different. The more I know, the more I can take more informed decision. The more I can help the company be careful. Like if I don't know, okay, my game is for minors. I'm designing system to store player information, and I'm keeping the email for some reason. But maybe GDPR different between kids, minors, and plus 18. If I don't know this fact, I could be like really putting the company at risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this what kind of
Um,
things comes to
mm,
mind right now.
mm. Um, and in terms of leading tech teams and the kind of matter of like psychological safety, I
Mm.
think I bring it up because there are a lot of studies that show that psychological safety and like this clear ownership are two of the most important predictors of like high performing tech teams, often even above these kind of technical skills. In your experience, how do you actually create psychological safety within a tech team, especially when you're trying to balance this tight production and like high expectations?
First of all, man, I freaking love tech teams. Nerdy as heck, which is like, to be honest, super nerdy, which is matches my vibe. Not
Yeah,
everyone is
yeah,
like, I'm a tech guy, I'm a nerdy, but I'm just happen to be super extrovert. It's usually not the case. It's usually a
mm,
combination between some people, Sven want to be in the basement, dark theme, no
yeah, yeah,
light, and just coding. Don't talk to me. So, first of all, as a leader, you need to understand the traits of your, like the every team member you have in
yeah,
the
yeah,
room. Not only that, appreciate our differences.
mm,
Like I've learned, like I'm being honest. If you're a new leader, like it just became a leader, and you're interviewing someone to your company, right? And you vibe with a person immediately, and oh my, you play Death Stranding. I see it behind you.
mm,
I love this game. Yeah, let's go. And
mm,
then you, for some reason, you will like that person more, and you will hire the one like you,
yeah,
which is could be the biggest mistake you do it as a
yeah,
leader, as a
exactly, yeah,
senior.
yeah,
You need
yeah,
to someone complement your skill set, someone complement the
yeah,
team skill set. So first of all, I've learned that to see our weaknesses and strengths,
mm,
read between the lines. So I realized that someone of my team loves to do tech debt or refactoring, where
mm,
some team members they want to do cutting edge new stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Some of them super vocal. Some of them are more expressing in typing. Some of them prefer voice. Some of them prefer video. Some of them can we meet at the office. So
mm,
as soon you start to know this, make sure that you offering a way for every one of them to raise their opinions, and that's
mm,
why we use Miro. It's not paid ad, but it's a kind of commonly used
yeah,
collaboration software. And they have
mm,
something called the parking lot area if we're doing a retrospective or if you want to write. Even though when we do a cross-function collaboration, anyone can raise their hand and, hey, I want to raise this point. But maybe speaking in front of big crowds makes someone shy. I don't
mm,
want that to comes with a cost. That person doesn't raise a good point, could save our project or could be something we really should discuss. But when I
yeah,
have it, write your ideas here, then I read it, then I give
yeah,
someone the space to share without being
yes, yeah,
anxious. So
yeah,
first of all, be inclusive in the way you do your workshops.
mhm,
Understand that we're different. Try to tailor as much as possible, but don't tailor to a level comes with a cost of slowing down our
mm,
production. Don't do it in a way to please everyone. Okay, if you don't like new stuff, I'm not gonna give you any new stuff. You always
mm,
refactor, but then we don't have anything. So you give them something just to pass time. I will never do
yeah,
that. We need
yeah,
to do the work. If you not always gonna be pleasing everyone, but when it's possible, I will 100% do it.
mm,
So do one to one with your team, build a relationship with them, build a trust with them. As a
mm,
producer, I'm not their manager. So here's the thing: I don't have their salaries.
no,
And so, in a way, the only way for me to gain their trust is being a good example,
yeah,
to speak with them, listen to them, be their
mhm,
voice,
mhm,
helping them to deliver a higher quality. So, trust is a factor in here. So, one to one with your team members, build a trust, be a good example, understand their differences, and try to tailor that in your workshops.
mm. And like as a follow-on to this, and to talk in terms of like hiring challenges when it comes
Mm.
to kind of hiring those developers in your teams, what have you found to be like the biggest challenges in hiring for your teams specifically, and also yeah, in hiring today, how can teams like adapt their strategies to attract and retain the right people essentially?
So hiring is getting way more expensive. Like the cycle of
Mm,
hiring is getting insanely expensive. Industries are adding more levels of screening, more level of interviews. It becomes too tiring. If you do two interviews, you reach almost the last and stop twice in a row, you will be drained. You will be stopped applying for months. I'm not exaggerating, especially if they ask you for do an assignment. So the best way I could give anyone tip, to be honest, is you need to stand out and you need to be on social media. And in this case, I mean LinkedIn. Like if you're listening to me and you don't have a LinkedIn, or you have LinkedIn, but it's just your name, no photo, nothing, you're not active in there, you're really reducing like your chances by being seen. So
and there you're talking about kind of building your personal brand.
You need to.
Yeah.
It's a competitive industry now. It's a rise of AI, where people are becoming really superhumans. Like, so how could I stand out by showing that, like, how unique my work is, how unique as a team player I am, how serious I am to join an industry. And I've seen people have done all of this in front of my face, starting this, showing, end up where they really wanted to because of LinkedIn, because they start sharing their work in progress. They start to connect. They start to reach out. So LinkedIn is, imagine it's like your best interview at scale.
Yeah.
It is. That's it. Imagine you have went to an interview, you have felt like you have killed it, like you have done amazingly good, but it's only one interview. One recruiter for a company could even decided not to hire you before the interview even started, but they cannot say that to you, so you have done it anyway. On LinkedIn, you do that for scale, so everyone sees that. So it's a lot more. Your return of investment will be a lot higher if you do it on LinkedIn. And I'm not saying go crazy. I mean, I write a lot, so I'm not the best example, but it really paid off. But be there, add some people every day, interact with people, expand your network in not very aggressive way, just like healthy way, just adding few people, some people you have some mutual with, and you will find a really huge attraction.
And in addition to this, because there's a really good tips, but like in addition to them and kind of building that personal brand, what traits or habits do you think, in addition to this, kind of set great developers apart? I mean, it's the technical skills here, but it's also kind of how they work with other people. What do you think really, if you're going out and you're looking for a developer to join your team tomorrow, let's say, what traits and habits do you prioritize?
First of all, if you're listening to our podcast right now, I'm going to ask you, do you have a book you're reading right now? And do you have a course you're doing right now? If you're studying at university, they are not counted. Do you have an extra course you're doing? Do you have a book you're reading? If your answer is no, sorry, you're not doing enough, period. You're not doing enough, because things are moving in a way, even for me as a technical person being in IT for 20 years, I feel like I'm barely catching up. I'm barely catching up. For the first time, I start to see I lost control of. I was always up. Like, if there's a new tool, you will see me in like alpha, beta, in the immediately first one. I was in the first one, go to Clubhouse. I was the first one, try new AI. I was the first one, tried things. But now, I really barely, I'm subscribing to a lot of newsletter. But then people say, okay, Ali, you're being the guy, this guy who wakes at 3 a.m. and do like crazy morning routine. I'm not saying that. Hear me out, please.
Yeah.
I read a book and do a course at any given point, at every given time. If you're busier than me, I would love talking to you to share with you how busy I am. But how I do it is micro learning. So I'm going to reverse my question to you. Or Lee, let me ask you, Lee. Can you read 10 pages a day? 10 pages.
I'd like to think I can, yes. Yeah.
That's it, right? 10 pages.
Do I have time to read the 10 pages?
Can you read 10 pages a day?
Yeah.
That's it. Can you?
Yeah.
You'll allocate time for it, right?
Easy.
Do you know how many books you finish by reading 10 pages a day?
In what time span? Tell me.
Year.
How many?
6 to 9.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
If you don't have time to read 10 pages a day, for your own career, for your own future, no one can help you. Course, I do 2 hours a week. 2 hours a week. I finished game design course at Michigan University. Learning never been that accessible ever. So if
And
you're not doing,
are those your kind of favorite formats then? The kind of books, these courses, or are there any other kind of formats that you really, really like? I mean, podcasts, articles,
I
mini
mean, to be
courses.
honest, podcast is really good, like bite size. When you walk outside, you like
Mm,
maybe from a whole podcast you listen to me. Maybe you enjoy this part about micro learning.
mm,
This could be really saved your like the way you develop and grow. So podcasts give a lot of value. So I do podcast. I watch a YouTube about my industry every day. But what I'm saying
mm,
that what works for me couldn't work for anyone in terms of like we need to understand our capabilities and our capacity. Like
mm.
if some people do what I do, they could burn out. If I do what some people do, I could burn out. We have different
Mm.
we need to respect that. And
Yeah,
that's why I'm
exactly. Yeah.
saying keep it healthy. Don't go crazy. Don't do 5 books after get some inspiration like, oh, I love the game industry. I get inspired. Then you start learning Unreal and Unity and writing 5 books, do 2 courses. I mean, you will do that for maybe a week or 2 months or two, and you will be burned out. You will hate the whole thing. What I'm saying instead, do bite-sized micro learning, 15 minutes a
Mm,
day, slowly with time.
mm,
You will be surprised how much you can do. Even though you have a full-time job, you are so super busy. Micro learning is the future of us
mm.
being always sharp, always attractive to the industry. If you don't do that, if you're really relying on what you have learned 2 years ago, yeah, good luck. 2 years ago, we
Yeah.
didn't have
Yeah.
crazy open AI to the level that we have today. We don't have all this crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
you're not relevant anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. And then that's like another kind of follow on because yeah, you can read all of these books or these courses where you're learning maybe a specific skill
Yeah.
or, area,
Mm.
whatever it might be. But as the tech world kind of evolves constantly really, really fast, in the age of AI or,
Yeah.
open AI. How do you stay relevant in terms of like keeping on top of these trends and what's happening? What's the next big kind of release? Do you have any tips there, basically?
This is a really tough one. So what I did, look, if your job could be replaced by AI, you need to be start concerned, right? And I understand people are start getting really concerned that like I usually do this, but then if this could be done by AI easily, then your role is in danger. In my
Mm,
case, my role counts a lot of human interaction, which is really hard to solve with AI because we're so complicated,
mm,
especially in communications. But what
mm,
if I'm an individual contributor and my role could be done by AI super easily? Let's say I work in text. My job
mm,
is to find grammar mistakes in text.
mm,
Yeah, your job is obsolete. I'm telling you right
mm,
now. Yeah, no one gonna hire you to grammarly fix any text because AI can do it in and
mm,
so cheap. So first of all, we need to evaluate where I am in the in like where I am in the trending stuff and how can be always attractive. How to do that? Always acquire new knowledge. Always
mm,
know how to can utilize AI and all these tools to your advantage and build something couldn't be done by these tools standalone.
yeah.
Find a creative way of connecting things. So
Mm,
what I've seen happening, AI came in, another AI came in, then someone built an AI utilizing both of them to do something could be achieved by any of them. That's super creative.
mm,
So
mm,
what just utilizing what is available for you makes you superhuman. So don't keep learning, stay creative. How to be creative? Now, everyone says be creative. Lucky you, I'm going to give you answers. You could be creative in multiple ways, right? But a lot of people connect creativity with playing an instrument or an art or drawing. I mean,
mm.
my skills
Or
in drawing is like,
inventing something.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
My skills
yeah.
in drawing are literally dog shit. But creative is bringing something was in there before you brought it in. Our conversation right now, Lee, is a form of creativity.
Mm,
A
exactly.
DM to
Yeah.
someone, a question, an idea, but how it can be creative? There are multiple ways, but I'm going to give you one of our ex colleagues at Starstable told me this, and it's like that's actually pretty smart. You always got this friend who inviting you to this D&D or Dungeons and Dragons campaign at their basement. That's like, oh man, it's not for me. You know what? Next time, just go.
Mm,
Next time, just do it. Just go there. If someone asking you to go an event that happens for the local community. Just go. If you're
Mm.
taking the same route home, you know what? Take a different one. You never know.
Mm.
You will see something could inspires you to build your next product. What I'm
Mm.
saying is expose yourself to a different environments, to a different mindsets. This how
Yep.
sparks something new. So if you
Mm.
do that, plus you're doing micro learning, so you're learning something every day. But then what should I learn? To be honest, I do fantasy book, I do like a personal development book. I've learned from both of them as much, if not sometimes I've
Mm.
learned from fantasy about tech more.
Mm.
There's always
Mm.
something unique you could apply for. So don't stick
Mm.
to some I'm a developer, only C++, only optimization C++. No, read about World War III or
Mm.
two or one, whatever. You will learn something, it will surprise you. Just
Mm.
pick up a good resources being vetted by people to make sure that you're spending your time on the right things.
Mm.
Diversify your resources in learning, make it fun. A YouTube in here, 2 minutes,
Mm. Mm.
like reading a few pages here and there. Use every downtime you can to learn to consume things without being burned
Mm.
out.
Mm.
Have a walk, listen to a podcast. This is what kind of
Yep.
tips I'm giving.
Mm.
Understand your limits. Don't push your limits, but always be motivated. Always have something really you're doing to get you closer. And at the end of the day, ask yourself what I have done today to get me closer to my goal. And if you
Mm.
haven't done anything, maybe it's time to start doing it.
Mm. And yeah, I think here talking about kind of how you stay relevant on top of trends, but also kind of these challenges when it comes to hiring. When it comes to those challenges, overcoming them, like hiring's only half the battle, right? So like retention is just as critical when you've got these the right people into your teams. Have you in those teams that you're managing? Have you found anything that actually keeps great developers engaged and motivated over the long term in an industry like yours? I think it's like I could sit here and say, oh well, so many of them. I'm not saying all of them at the company are kind of working with their passion. It would just be too simplistic, really. But it could be easy to sit here and assume everyone's working with their passion, so they're highly motivated, yada yada yada. But that cannot be the case. So how do you keep them engaged, motivated over the long term?
I really love this question. So there are multiple techniques. There is no like one solution will solve this for you.
Mm.
As long we could keep our devs is the better for us because they know the ecosystem, they know the tool, the code base, they know the engine, they know everything we need them to know. Having someone else will be way more expensive. How we do that? First of all, we ensure they are feel challenged the right amount. We need to make sure their opinion being valued and do an effect. It's not like me coming there, oh, I'm a producer, guys, we need to build this next, let's go.
Mm.
Yeah, then they will do it, but is that the right way of doing it? Rather than I just come with them with multiple options and ask their opinion.
Mm.
For any reason, I couldn't do whatever they said it could be the best way, even though I tried my best with the higher up there. I explained to them why the higher up went with this one anyway, despite our recommendation, because they might see something we don't see. So my job to explaining. So when your devs feel respected, when they feel they're growing, when you invest in their personal development, when you invest in their education, when give them a lot of material, and one of the techniques we have developed at Star Stable on top of everything I've mentioned, we have something called Passion Week. We have 2 Passion Weeks in a year and 5 or 6 Fridays. You can do whatever you want
For the whole week.
for the whole week.
Nice.
Do whatever you want. Learn, course. If you are a developer and you want to learn how to do Blender art, do it. Are you going to do it for the game? Absolutely not. It won't be enough. But you are learning, you're growing. You will know how to work with artists. And at the end of the week, we ask the people who want to present their findings to do it. Guess the results, though. One of our best features we have in our game came from Passion Week. Photo mode came from Passion Week. Snow tessellation came from Passion Week. So it's a lot of actions and steps you need to do to build the trust. Everyone feels I'm heard, I'm growing, I'm learning, I have the freedom to innovate. Could be the best environment for a lot of people to grow in. Anyway, at some point, people will leave because they want to explore a new product, a new game, a
Yeah.
new genre. So
Yeah.
you cannot keep everyone forever, but you can keep them as long as healthy as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. It's a really good point, and I think it's quite nice to hear, or it's always surprising to hear kind of how often these products or things that come from these,
Oh
weeks
my
in your
God,
case,
yes,
or these, same with hackathons, right? There's so many products that have come from
100%,
just enabling this creativity and innovation. And when it
exactly.
comes, another question on that kind of creativity topic, because I've seen also in different places how like teams that are encouraged to explore these creative ideas, and
Mm.
even the ones that do fail, let's face it, most of them do fail, that they can generate like a lot more successful innovations in the long run compared to like teams that are very strict, right? That don't give too much room for this kind of innovation. How do you foster in like creativity both in yourself and in your teams? You've spoken about these, week long, these passion weeks that you said, but on like a daily basis, how do you try to foster creativity in both yourself and in your teams?
So the gaming industry is also unique in a way. How agile are we in, and how fast are we in adapting and trying new things? So usually, gaming industry is fast to adapt technology. It's fast to adapt. Like if you compare gaming industry to safety critical to government stuff, you will see us
Mm.
in really way ahead,
Yeah,
because we need things to be fast because our product is big, requires years of development. If it's a new game, we
it's
need.
created by nature, right?
Exactly. So we cannot be rigid in a lot of things. So we
Mm.
try everything possible to, if we suspect a new work methodology could help us of doing that, we do it. We try
Mm.
different workshops. We try different working techniques. We try estimations. We try poker planning. We try fun stuff, team building activities. We try, you name it.
Yeah,
Passion Week, Passion Fridays, brainstorming, Disney, Pixar, level of like dreamer room, reality, critical. Or so we try everything.
mm.
The double diamonds go crazy, like there's no limits,
Mm.
and that's what we want. We want all the crazy ideas, because in tech and games we can implement a lot of things is not possible in different products, right? It's just
Mm.
our imagination, and of course we need to be realistic at the end if it's possible. In terms of
Mm.
fail in the gaming industry, the fails is way higher than the success.
Mm.
And some games do actually fail in like
Yeah,
really expensive products, and talk about
yeah,
hundreds of millions.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
happens. It happens that sometimes the product fails. So we have learned how to be okay with it, how to learn from it, how to do post
Mm.
mortem. So yeah, that's the nature of
Mm.
the gaming industry.
Mm. Um, do you to talk about misconceptions about working in gaming?
Yeah.
What because yeah, I could sit here. I'm saying like everyone's super passionate. Everyone's in such a lively
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
What are some of the most common misconceptions you think people have about working in games, both
Uh,
like technical and
yeah.
cultural?
Yeah. So in terms of culture things, is the gaming industry really attached with the crunching and overworking? So it's not always the case. In my company, we don't do that. We don't have that culture of like overwork, or like we don't even pay extra hours.
Mm.
We don't
Mm.
do it.
Mm.
But if you
Mm.
put any hours for any reason to like a crash in live, and you have to, we compensate that with hours that you have it later when you decide. And
Mm.
so crunching is not in a lot of companies, while sadly some companies, or maybe in some countries, is more present.
Mm.
People assume that we play games more than we actually do. There's a lot of people work in the industry, they don't play games, or they stop playing games after being in the industry, which is kind of sad, but it is reality. So
Mm.
yeah, sometimes we don't play games as much as people expect. And what else? Sorry if you hear some noise in the background. So we don't play games as much as we people assume. We we don't crunch as people assume,
Mm.
and it's not as fun as everyone expect used to be. Playing a game is
Mm.
not similar to making a game. Making a
Mm.
game, it's way more. There's a lot of process, a lot of like phases you need to go through. Testing a game is not as fun as playing the final product, where you see only meshes and not just like a box jumping to have this feeling, right? So the process of making a game is not matching the process of playing it. In my opinion, is as fun, if it's not even more fun, to craft experiences for people because you believe in the impact you're doing when people
Yeah.
are really interacting with your games.
Yeah, and you know kind of firsthand the iteration upon iteration upon
Hundred
iteration that's
percent.
gone
And when
on
you
to get there.
see the
Yeah,
finally game out, it's really satisfying. Sadly, your chance of succeeding in this competitive market is super low. And we know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's a really
yeah,
sad reality. And not only that, you need to live with that you're working on a project for years and being cancelled, which is also uncommon in a lot of industries. Like you work on a
yeah, yeah,
product, you release it, then it might work, it might not. In our case, there are a lot of projects they haven't seen the daylight. So
yeah,
imagine
yeah,
you work
yeah,
on 5 years on something and they decide to cancel that.
yeah, yeah. And that's where you have to kind of kill your darlings, right?
That's
Yeah,
and you need to be okay with letting things go. I
yeah,
have really an advice in here to everyone listening. There's something called the circle of control. I'm not sure if anyone have seen this before, but if you haven't seen it, just try to look for circle of control. Is literally that it's three circles: control, influence, and concern. When you are someone joining a new company or a new leader or something, don't fall to that trap where everyone try to change a general direction of the company. Oh, I don't believe the company should have stopped supporting this product. They should have supporting this instead. What you're talking about is something done in like C-suite on the top of like it's like the mother company, and then you
yeah,
have a technical team. What should you worry about that technical depth documentation? So always focus on the change you can make from the things you can control. Always communicate your concerns, of course, and influence, but make sure you put your energy on the right circle where you can have
yeah,
more impact. So don't
yeah.
put more energy fighting for things and leave the things that you can control. So this is something I wish I've learned earlier.
And that would be because that was going to be like my one, my final question as we round off here. I wanted to
Yeah.
kind of hear your advice to your younger self. Is that what it would be? Or is there anything else?
So to be honest, first this one, the circle of control. I will definitely be aware of like what I'm putting my energy, like fighting for big strategic decisions where I have a team we could do an impact from our end to start with. This is how we drive change. Driving change is something comes with a trust. You cannot change without building a trust first. So build a trust and lead by example. And as a leader, you will see bad days, you will see good days. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter how you feel anyway right now. My dad, there's something he says I really like. I'm pretty sure not my dad who invented this quote. He said, "There's no cloud will be in the skies forever," which means that doesn't matter how bad things are turn out, how you get rejection at work or you get rejection at application, you having things will be better. Doesn't matter. Every time you hear a no, every time a rejection, use that as a celebrate. I
Yeah,
used to celebrate rejections because you're one step closer if you implement feedback and become better. So
yeah,
this is the tips I would give my younger self to be less worried, put my stuff and energy on the right things, and I made it at the end. So I was upset for some time, felt like took it personally, like am I not worthy or something. Apparently I was worthy enough, and everyone
yeah,
is as worthy, if not more. 100%, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of talented people are listening. So if you are in that sphere, celebrate the no, understand how we can make it better, do micro learning, be better every day, and until you make it.
yeah. It's a really, really well put, really nice expression as well. But yeah, to wrap up then, Ali, thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your insights with us today. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this. I actually forgot that we're recording. I'm just like just having a friendly
It's
chat
just a
with
nice
you.
conversation.
I really
That's
hope
what
that
we like to
at
hear.
least someone, if only one person listening to this, get one value, I will be more than happy. That's all I need, to be
Yeah,
honest. One
yeah,
person,
yeah.
one value. That's enough. Thank you so much for listening.
No, thank you. Really nice to hear you talking about navigating the leadership transitions and how you're blending creativity with the engineering. And these kind of sustainable careers in gaming. I think you've given our listeners much to think about, lots of inspiration. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow Builders, leave a review, share it with a friend or a teammate who could use a little extra inspiration. Until next time, keep innovating, keep building, and we'll see you soon.